Oh, wait, 2015 called and they want their article back. They came up with the new word. I love the fact that they called researchers as if they're very intelligent people that spent years of their life in order to learn how to nag properly. And this is not just their opinion. No, no, no. They created the scientific method. And now the mainstream media is sharing this as if it's gospel. Honestly, this is what replaced religion for the past decade. You had the academia, which is the clergy, the priesthood, the college of cardinals, and then the journalists are sharing the word of God. You can't contradict this. If you contradict this, you're anti-science. So anyway, they came up with a new word. It's called mankeeping, and why women are done with dating. See, I noticed something very interesting. Did you see that the Puritans on Twitter, they always blame men for the lowering of the birth rates, and it's because men watch pornography, right? Like, if it wasn't for pornography, every single man would have probably had a girlfriend and a waifu by now. But unfortunately, the internet and the Jews, they created pornography which didn't exist. And so the birth rates are being destroyed. It's like a genocidal bomb. But meanwhile, like, what are the women doing? Well, the women apparently, they don't want to man keep the men. So they're basically saying, like, no, 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 listen, like, there are men that either can watch pornography and do date us, or there are men that date us, but we just don't like the fact that we need to man keep them. So what is man keeping? Well, according to the research at Stanford, they finally giving a name to something many women have been dealing with for years. It's called man keeping, and it's helping explain why they are stepping away from dating altogether. Man keeping describes the emotional labor, goodness, which women end up doing in heterosexual relationships, right? So, like, lesbians don't have to man keep. Or a woman that's with a transgender person, like, they don't have to man keep. They keep themselves. But, like, those pesky men, it goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one-man support system, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hands towards feelings you won't share with anyone else. So, like, again, if you're a lesbian, like, you don't have to deal with any of this. Lesbians are kind of like roommates, I guess. You know, she just does her thing, doesn't talk to you, you do your thing, you don't talk to her. But like a man, no, like, you actually require communication in this relationship, and this is very taxing for these women. Like, look at the picture, right? This is how they feel when they have to actually talk with their significant other, and they have to be grown-up adults, like their parents were, or their grandparents were. Like, this is just too much to ask for them. It overwhelms them, right? So researchers have finally put a name to this atrocity. The rest of the issue is tied to what experts are calling the male loneliness epidemic. As more men report having fewer close friendships, romantic partners are expected to pick up the slack. Instead of processing with friends, many men offload everything into the woman they're dating. So let me get this straight. No, this is... holy shit. Okay, so if you are part of my generation, one of the biggest complaints that women used to have is that he spends too much time with his friends. Think of the Flintstones, for instance. Like, there are a lot of episodes where Flintstone goes out with his friends bowling, and when he comes home, the wife is upset because he spent too much time there, right? So, like, what do researchers say about this type of behavior from women? Where if you do one thing, they start to bitch and nag, and if you then do what they want, they yet again start to bitch and nag. Is there any researcher that covers this topic? Is it a field that is under study? Oh no, of course not, right? Because, like, if you say something like this, you get fired. It's politically incorrect and you get sacked. Yeah, like, pissing on men is socially acceptable. It's encouraged, right? Because, like, men are strong and they can take it. Meanwhile, women, they are weak. You know, just talking with their partner, like, completely trashes them. And so you can't have, like, high expectations. Like, we have a saying in Romania, you know, if God didn't give, he doesn't ask. Like, he's not going to ask something more than you can. And so, like, if we're going to look at women who are so emotionally devastated, after simply talking to their significant other and having to also be a friend. You know, like she signed up to be a wife. She didn't sign up to be a friend. You know, I always wonder, like, why these articles work in the West, but they don't work in Eastern Europe. And the reason is, like, people in Eastern Europe wouldn't just let this article slide. They would just attack the publication with vicious mockery, vicious criticism. You would have, like, actual people going in front of this university and knocking at this professor door and ask, like, what the fuck are you on about? You know, why are you trying to destroy the relationship between me and my wife? And his wife would probably be there supporting him. But obviously, like, in the West, that doesn't work. And you have, like, journalists that publish these articles, which I don't blame the journalists. Like, this is another wrong way of thinking. A lot of people blame the journalists, right? It's like, oh, the evil journalists, they conspire. No, the readers are the problem, okay? Like, the people that are reading this, sharing this, agreeing with this, they're the problem. The thing is, like, they're going to end up suffering. Because what this article is basically saying is don't get married, don't have kids. In other words, just die out. Just fucking die out. You know, your family line fucking tainted. Just don't reproduce. Just die out alone and poorly dressed. In probably an institution or something, because you're going to have no one coming in for Christmas. You're not going to have anyone coming in for Thanksgiving. You're not going to have any family member coming at your funeral, because you're going to die out. And this is what this article is suggesting to women, right? Over the most trivial thing imaginable. The fact that, yes, in a relationship, you have to also be a friend to your spouse. I mean, like, notice how these fuckface researchers, they don't even consider that children and marriage should be in the same sentence. Like, for them, marriage is just for pleasure. Which, you know, like, that's another thing. Yes, like, sex is for pleasure. It is to bring the couple together. But you'd also think that maybe some children should appear there so that they can pay your welfare, you fucking morons, that you constantly want. Oh, we want welfare. We want public health care. We want. You want sci-fi shit, but you don't want to pay sci-fi money for it. And so you encourage people to be alone. Welfare goes down, and then it's like, we need to steal someone else's children. We need immigrants. You guys fuck a lot. You guys don't have this type of mindset. Please come here. Please come here so we can tax you and steal your shit. Yeah, it's still interesting that I'm seeing these articles in 2025, because usually they died out around 2019 or so. Like, a lot of these publications went out of business. And so seeing them make a return is interesting. I don't think they're going to have a lot of readers for it, for the reason that a lot of these women, they actually did try doing the advice. And what they notice is that, yeah, when you're young, you are the center of attention and you can have a lot of fun. But then you become middle-aged, and women around the middle age, they kind of become like men. They need to do things in order to get recognition. You can't just look pretty and get recognition. You actually need to do something for a living. And so dating becomes harder. They end up being alone. They end up being very vindictive towards men their age. They're the ones that, oh my god, you watch pornography instead of dating me. I'm 38-year-old and you're watching anime girls and you're dating 20-year-olds. Oh, you pedophile. That's what you get on Twitter. This is where the resentment is coming from, by the way. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, most men aren't going to date grandma. It is what it is. You know, grandma made her decisions and now she has to live with them. Not my fucking responsibility. Most men, when they were teenagers, they were getting snuffed by these ladies, by the way. I know so many of my friends that genuinely wanted a relationship growing up, and because, like, they didn't have a car or because they didn't have an apartment of their own, they were being snuffed. No woman wanted to look at them. And now that they do have all those things, and they do date women that are younger than them, the other women that snuff them are fucking seedy. And it's like, well, whose fault is it? You know? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.